This is the No Excuses Coaching Podcast with Ryan Montes and Alanna Banks, where we discuss the mindset, the attitude, and the strategies of elite coaching. Happy New Year, everyone. This is our first official 2023 podcast episode.
Happy New Year, everyone.
And I just got back from Disney. I was in Florida. And I was thinking that today, actually, I couldn't help but wander around Disney World, just thinking about Walt Disney and his vision and how cool he is that he created this like amazing experience for people and how it's still going strong. And just seeing so many people there just like loving their lives and wandering around in the magic of everything. I couldn't help but think about like business and entrepreneurs and kind of the behind the scenes of Disney World and how that could apply to your coaching business, how that can apply to any business that you're running as an entrepreneur. There are so many lessons to be learned from just that experience. So I wanted to bring that to the podcast today.
Yeah. So I've been to Disney. I'm very grateful to say I've been to Disney World and Disneyland a few times. And there's literally no other place that creates a consumer experience the way Disney World. There's not even the way Disney World does. There's not even a close second. There's nothing like Disney World, Disneyland, and these theme parks that were created by Walter Disney. There's nothing else like it. And for sure, there are some lessons to be gleaned for anybody who serves a market. It doesn't matter if you're not in entertainment, if you're in coaching, if you're in business. I mean, Walt Disney World, they're, for lack of a better term, printing money. Alanna mentioned to me it's something like $25 million a day they're making, something like that.
Yeah.
And they deserve it because their product is just unparalleled. So let's talk about kind of the underlying principles that make them so unparalleled and see if we can apply it to our own businesses.
Yeah. So we basically have like two lists that we found on the internet. One on Inc.com and one on entrepreneur.com. And we're basically going to just like take these lists and do a bit of a mashup and talk about our I guess our opinions or our views on what they're talking about.
That's right. I also have my grocery list. So if things run slow on the two Disney lists, we can hear about what I'll be eating the following week. Hopefully it doesn't come to that. Okay, Alanna, let's hop into it.
Yeah,
let's get into the meat and potatoes of this. The first list is from Inc.com.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about business lessons you can learn from visiting Disney World. So we'll read through this list and let's see if our experience matches what the list says and what our thoughts are about applying it to coaching. How does that feel?
Yeah, that feels good.
Cool.
Yeah, and another thing to add here is like these two lists. One is sort of more how you can apply the whole Disney experience to you as an entrepreneur, like your mindset. And then the other one is more about like the customer experience or like creating a business that's going to create an amazing experience for your customer.
Yeah. Good point.
Number one is create magic from the start.
Yeah. I really like this one.
Mm-hmm.
What does it mean though, Alanna Banks?
Well, what it means is, for me anyway, what it means is just like from the moment that you hit purchase, right, of your tickets, you have already a magical experience happening. So it could be like the email newsletter that gets sent to you or the confirmation email that gets sent to you. Or it could just be, if you're showing up. I mean, I think nowadays a lot of people are buying their tickets online. But if you're showing up, like as soon as you get there, you're immersed in the magic of whatever it is. In this case, we're talking about Disney. So you're immersed in the magic. Like the parking lot is all like Disney characters. And then you get onto a tram that's got music playing and like a really fun driver who's talking about the park and where you're parked and where you're going. And it's just like as soon as you get out of your car, you're immediately immersed in the magic of being at Disney World.
Yeah, I like it. And, this is something that you can certainly apply in the experience that people have when they're dealing with you in your coaching business. Is it, thoughtful and polished and clean from the beginning right through? Do you have
Yeah.
a quality onboarding process? Do you have a quality, outward social media platform? Like, is it pleasant and nice and fun and, comfortable to move through your world, to move through the experience of working with you right from the start, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Number 2, personalize the experience. I really like this. I really like personalize the experience. What little things can you do to personalize the experience? I mean, at Disney, it says here in the article, they give you a bracelet with your wristband with your name on it. I don't remember that happening when I was there, but perhaps there's some experience. I remember didn't happen at Disney, but I was on an airplane one time, and I sat down at my seat on the airplane, and on the little screen in the seat, it said, "Welcome, Mr. Montes." It had my name. And it wasn't just, "Hey, Ryan, glad to have you." It was, "Welcome, Mr. Montes." Subtle, personal touch. It's now been a couple of years since that. I still remember it vividly.
That is nice.
Yeah.
The one thing that I loved was I think it was the ET ride at Disney. As you check in, they ask for your name. And during the ride, they mention everybody's name. I can't remember I didn't hear my name, but I thought it was kind of cool because I was
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Another way you can do this that's really easy and applicable to coaches. If any of you all go back and watch any Instagram live that I've done, you'll see that I mentioned by name every person who I noticed come on and is watching in the audience, to welcome them and let them know that I see them and that I appreciate that they're there, because a person giving you their attention is giving you a gift, and it's nice to thank somebody and acknowledge somebody for doing that. So that's one way to personalize your experience in our world.
Yeah, for sure. Another way you can do it too is like giving your clients gifts as part of the experience with you. I do that with all my clients.
Yeah, that is nice. That is nice. Yeah.
Whether it's like gifting them a book or, I often gift mine a bracelet, but it's just like a nice special surprise that you weren't expecting.
Yeah. Number 3, go for it.
Yeah, keep it hassle-free.
Keep it hassle-free.
Yeah. So the nice thing about Disney is they have an app. So you basically just need the app to like check in and look at wait times for different rides. The map is on there. Everything you need is kind of like in this one little spot on your phone. So that made things very hassle-free. But I think how you can apply that to your business too is just having, a place where they can reach you at all times. Depending on what kind of coaching you're doing. If it's one-on-one, maybe you're just like in contact by WhatsApp or something like that. Or, if you're doing more group type thing, if you have Kajabi, I know I've had a good experience with Kajabi. But it's a nice portal to be able to log in and like find all of the things that you need.
Yeah. What I would say on this one is, don't make it hard for people to buy from you. There are some companies out there and there's some coaches out there, and sometimes this is done with intent, but sometimes it's not. And there's some companies out there that, force people to jump through a lot of hoops to send in payments or to enroll or to this or to that. You want to make the process of joining with you and working with you as simple and pain-free, and as this article puts it, as hassle-free as possible, right?
Yeah.
As streamlined as possible. I remember years ago, I wanted to buy something from this website, and they didn't have a shopping cart system on their website. It was just like a hodgepodge list of the items that they sold. Some of them had prices, some of them didn't. Couldn't figure out how much shipping was. And I emailed the company being like, I want this and this and this and this. Can you please tell me the total price and shipping? And I got this reply where they took my email and copy and pasted it into a new email. And any of the products that didn't have a price on their website, they kind of wrote the price into my email. And any of the products that did have a price on the website, they just wrote the words as posted in my email. And then they didn't answer how much shipping was. And they sent me back this email. And I was like, I will never buy a product from this company for as long as I shall live. Because they couldn't answer the simple question, how much and where do I send the money?
Yeah.
Right. They built so much hassle and a little bit of like condescension into their system. Don't do that. That's an extreme example, but like this was 20 years ago. I remember I had this email exchange with this company. I still remember it because it was such poor quality of service.
Yeah.
So be the opposite of that, right? Make your customers' lives easy.
Yeah, totally. And I think when it comes to coaching, make it easy for your clients to book a call with you. I've worked with lots of people where I'm just like, I can't find the link, or like, I can't figure out how to book my own call or cancel, like that needs to be seamless because that's really annoying, I find.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, unless there's a thing called movement predictors where you make one path more resistant and to make another easier path more attractive. So if part of your sales funnel is to have less calls and more people going to like a sales page and enrolling through an automated system, there could be reasons why people make, booking a call less obvious how to do it, right? Like Amazon is the king of this. It's impossible to figure out how to contact them because they want you to first try all the like automated customer service things. But if you, like most coaches, sell all of your services on sales calls, it better be really easy for people to sign up for a consultation call with you, right? To Alanna's point.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think I was thinking more of like once you have enrolled and you're booking your weekly calls, that also needs to be easy.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Agreed. Okay. Number next.
I mean, let's go with branding beyond a logo.
That's the one I was looking at too. Branding beyond a logo. Yeah. What does that mean to you, Alanna?
Yeah. So for me, this means like you can't just have a logo and think like you've got this business. Like you really have to stretch your brand personality across everything. So that's like your website to your social media to how you interact with people when you are on sales calls, maybe, or when you do start the coaching process. You want all of that to feel cohesive. You want to have like a full brand personality. And that should be, in my opinion, exactly like representative of who you are as a person.
Yeah.
Right? So that when they do land on a call with you or they do land in your coaching kind of container, the person that they're speaking to resonates with like all the other experiences they've had up to that point.
Yeah. You don't want to shock the person with who's on the other side of the Zoom when they show up for a call with you, right? You want to be consistent. And especially in coaching, your branding goes well beyond your logo. In fact, like I bet if I challenged all of my students and clients to draw my logo on a piece of paper, they wouldn't be able to, because I'm my brand more than any ever will be, right? And sort of the little details and the way I present content and the way I run things is my brand, right? And as of the last few months, the color scheme and and all these other things, the brand has really evolved nicely. I'm grateful to say.
Yeah. So I think here too, it's like don't wait to start your business because you don't have a logo. Because basically, like Ryan just said, you are the brand. So as long as you can get in front of a camera and get on social media and talk about your business, that's really all you need. Waiting for that logo is just procrastinating.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So be the brand and embody the brand, in other words. Cool. Okay. What's next?
I would say we'll do one more from this list.
Sure.
And I would say that teamwork makes the dream work. I think that once you get to a certain level of your business, it's important to start outsourcing some things that are like kind of taking you away from doing the stuff that you really love to do. And it also makes things run seamlessly, like we were talking about before, for your clients, because there's just some things that you can't put your attention on all the time and make it run really smooth and really effectively. So once you get to a level where it makes sense for you to hire someone else, maybe hire a VA or hire someone to do tasks for you, do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely a good idea. Also, resource amongst your colleagues. This doesn't necessarily mean you need to hire employees, but if you're a coach, you're an entrepreneur, you're a hypnotist, you should be in touch with other people who have similar businesses to you and that are at a similar stage in their business, plus or minus one or two levels to you. And you all would benefit to pool your resources, right?
Yeah.
Those of you that know me know I'm in constant communication with, hypnotists, coaches, trainers all around the world. And we're constantly, texting each other, chatting, getting on calls, and just talking about what we're up to, how we're marketing, how we're growing, and learning from each other. And then when we do have a question, when we do need to reach out, there's a team there. Nobody's exchanging any money. They're not my employees and I'm not theirs. But I am part of this sort of informal team of entrepreneurs and creators. And it's so empowering, even from a motivational standpoint. It's so empowering to have that type of network.
Yeah.
So that's a big one.
Yeah, you're never alone, right? Like you want to tap into that community so that when you're having, inevitably you're going to have questions that come up, right? Or you're going to have to troubleshoot something or, you want to talk something over or just like bounce ideas around. It's really helpful.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Let's switch over to the other list. And the other one that we're going to look at is the 6 fundamental, this is from entrepreneur.com, the 6 fundamental business lessons every entrepreneur can learn from Walt Disney, right? So if you liked the previous 5 or 6 that we chatted about, I think these ones might hit home even a little bit more, because now we're getting into the mindset of success. And like I said, Walter Disney created a legacy like none other. His products continue to make an absolute absurd amount of money and a brilliant amount of happiness and satisfaction amongst the people that visit his parks, view the movies, consume the entertainment in whatever form it's in. So let's get into this list. 6 things that Disney knew that now you're going to know.
Yeah.
Number one, Alanna Banks, never give up.
Never give up.
Never give. You know a little bit more about old Walter maybe than even I do. He was known to not give up, right?
Yeah, he didn't give up. He was rejected. I don't know if this is like a direct quote, but I think it's something like 80 times when he was going around to get financing for Disney World. And he just kept going back to, the drawing board every single time. And he really looked at that, the whole idea of, there is no failure, there's only feedback. He took that to heart 80 times. And, I've heard it been said before that in order for him to create the legacy that he did create, which is like Walt Disney World and, whatever else has come from as a result of that, he needed to be rejected that many times in order to create the capacity to hold the business that he ended up creating.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a quote here from old Walt. He said, "All the adversity I've had in my life, all the troubles and obstacles have strengthened me. You may not realize it when it happens, but a kick in the teeth may be the best thing in the world for you." Mm-hmm. How about that?
Yeah, it's true. Because if he had been given a yes on the very first meeting, would Disney World be what it is today? We don't know.
I don't know. Probably
But if
not.
it's so easy, then, he may not have like iterated it or like had new thoughts or, imagined something extra. So yeah, never give up.
Number 2 is be a problem solver. It says here Walt Disney was the consummate problem solver. He was very observant and was always looking for ways to solve a problem and how it could be an opportunity in the marketplace. Yeah. I mean, as an entrepreneur, as a coach, man, you better be a good problem solver, or at least a committed problem solver, because problems are in no short supply. And that is perfectly fine if you understand that they can be solved. They're nothing more than challenges, right? To be overcome.
Yeah.
And with every problem you solve, your business gets stronger and your product probably gets better, right? Or your service gets better.
For sure.
Thoughts on that one?
Yeah, I think it's also, I look at this as two ways: be a problem solver in your business, but also be a problem solver in terms of like how you're going to serve your clients.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
As a coach, you're probably solving problems. So figure out what problem you want to solve and just hone in on that.
Yeah.
In terms of your coaching business.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And the people you're going to help.
I love it.
Number 3, be willing to reinvent yourself.
Ooh, that's an interesting one.
That is.
Be willing to reinvent yourself. I think that's a good idea. It's a good idea. Be willing to reinvent yourself. Be willing to invest in yourself. Be willing to pivot. I mean, if something's not working, or if there's something you don't like, then you can change it, right? And you can change it. I think, there's a thing called the sunken cost fallacy, where people put so much time and effort into one endeavor, and then they feel that, they're married to it. Or it could be so much time and effort into one personality trait, and then they feel as though that's just the way I am. You got to be, mindful that you can change whatever you want. Something about your business, something about yourself, something about your life. And on the flip side, don't be pivoting just because things get a little hard either.
Yeah.
Right. Or because you're bored. Right. If you have a winner of a product, don't stop pushing that product just because, I feel like creating something different necessarily. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think this one, you have to kind of just be careful with it. Like, the way I also look at this too is like, be willing to reinvent yourself. Like, I feel like I'm the queen of reinvention because I've done so many different things throughout my life. Yeah. And I've always been willing to like make that shift, right? Like I started out in public relations, and then I started an online fabric store, which was completely different. And in that moment, I'm thinking, or I wasn't, but many people in my life were like, you're going to throw away your 4-year degree and like this career in PR to start an online fabric store. Like for a lot of people, it didn't make sense, but for me, it made 100% sense.
Yeah.
So, I think reinventing yourself is really important, and it makes your life exciting and interesting.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. It certainly can. Okay. Next.
Surround yourself with talent.
Ooh, this is a big one. What are your thoughts on this one, Alanna?
Well, I think for this, it just means, surround yourself with people who can provide you with what you need to have a successful business. So recognize that you can't do things on your own. And you're maybe not going to be good at everything. And so you can outsource different parts of your business to people who know how to do what you want to do. Like, don't be afraid of not knowing how to do something, because chances are you can find someone to do it for you.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, and this is a little bit connected to, the teamwork makes the dream work, right? Mm-hmm. Surrounding yourself with like-minded individuals who are success-oriented, and moving in a similar direction that you want to be moving in, is a really good idea, right? Is that old adage, you become the 5 people who you're surrounded by most often. So make sure those are some high achieving 5 people, right?
Yeah.
Because you're going to take on their attitude, their energy, whether you like it or not.
Yeah. And I think this also kind of ties into like perfectionism. Like, don't get bogged down by like your perfectionistic ways. Um, because, like I said, you're not going to be really good at everything. So you can have a vision and share that vision with someone and let them do it. Because obviously Walt didn't have his hands in every single pot to create this massive legacy. He wouldn't have been able to do it all without talent surrounding him, without hiring out, outsourcing things. So I think that's just really important.
Yeah. Cool.
And this
Love
is
it.
something that like I got really deep with in my fabric store, because for a long time I wanted to do everything on my own because I thought I was the best at it, and like if I hired it out, you know, it wouldn't be the same as the way I did it. But then I ended up hiring out all of my cutting, and she actually had a better system than I did. So it was very refreshing,
Yeah.
to see that.
Yeah. Cool. Love it.
Be curious.
Be curious.
Hmm.
Yeah. Um, very vague, but
Very
it
vague.
is true and correct, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's a good, Milton Erickson said it's a good thing to wonder, right? As a coach, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, it's probably a good idea to wonder and be curious. How can I be improving the business? How can I be improving the product? How can I be more easily attracting clients? How can I be better serving clients? What can be improving, right? Because we want to be constantly, refining, constantly getting better, constantly having bigger and better goals and achieving them,
Yeah.
right? Be curious. That requires a spirit of curiosity, and that state of curiosity is a very powerful one, particularly when you get into things like building and problem solving. Being curious, what'll happen if I do this? What'll happen if I do that? Is almost the opposite of stuckness, right?
Hmm.
Be curious. Curiosity, great personality trait for an entrepreneur and coach and hypnotist and practitioner, for sure.
Yeah. And then it also lets your business evolve too over time,
Hmm.
right? Because if you're stuck in your way, if you're stuck in just doing it this one way and you don't get curious and you don't discover new ways of doing things, then it's just going to feel stagnant,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You want to be evolving.
Yeah. It's
You want
also
to be
connected.
going with the times too,
Be going with the times.
moving along with the times.
Keeping up with the Joneses. Yeah, also connected to curiosity, connected to behavioral flexibility, right?
Mm.
We know the importance of behavioral flexibility, being able to explore different avenues to achieve a goal. Having a healthy sense of curiosity will only aid in your behavioral flexibility skill set. So really good thing to keep in mind.
Yeah.
Cool. Last one.
And then the last one's diversify.
Yeah. Yeah. This is an interesting one. What are your thoughts on this one?
Well, I think that, for this particular article, they're talking about how he got into like action movies and documentaries and amusement parks and then other products. So I think as a coach, it's important to be curious and think of ways you can diversify your offering. So say you are a coach and you're doing one-on-one coaching, like how can you diversify that part of your business? Like you could do group coaching, you could do seminars, you could go into offices and do like coaching with teams. You could have swag, right? And, start merchandising your
Yeah.
brand. So there's lots of different ways you could start making money. You could write a book, right? Like you could start a podcast. You can do YouTube content. There's all kinds of ways you can start to diversify what you have to offer.
Yeah. I think, this one can be a little bit tricky because you do want to diversify. You want to diversify your skill set as well. But also in terms of building a business, you don't necessarily want to massively diversify, the different products that you offer too much, because you don't want to get into a position where you're running multiple businesses in parallel and trying to grow all of them at once, right? Um, So like, yeah, if you're a coach and one of your products is one-to-one coaching, and as Alanna said, diversified or group coaching, you still want the niche to be the same,
Yeah.
right? If your one-to-one coaching is money mindset, and then your group coaching is something related to money mindset, it wouldn't be like, fitness, something,
Yeah.
totally different. Because then you start to split, your mind power, right? And create a fragmentation, which can be dangerous. So diversify, very important, but do it intelligently, right? Like, Alex Hormozy, for example, who a lot of us, more and more people are hearing about him and his theories on growing business every day, says until you're making $1 million a year, you should be focusing on one product, right? One product. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean literally, like one product, but like one niche, one, avatar, one whatever it is for you and your business. So diversify behavior, diversify tactics, diversify skill set. But when we're specifically talking about growing your coaching business, don't get crazy about trying to serve everyone all the time. That's not what we're meaning here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think it's just diversifying your reach.
Your reach, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I like it. Cool.
Cool.
What was your favorite thing about Disney World?
Well, the fireworks for me were big. I love a good fireworks display, and that was definitely the best fireworks display I've ever seen.
Yeah, fireworks, cool.
Yeah, I loved
Not
it.
really a fireworks person. Yeah, I like the rides.
The rides are cool.
Yeah. By the way, we should make it clear to the listeners, Alanna and I did not go to Disney World together.
No, we didn't.
She was there recently, and I've been before. I like the rides. I like the food. There's good food at Disney. There's like tons of different restaurants, and there's like fast food, and there's table service restaurants. The rides are cool. Just like the immersion. It's like being in a different world,
It is. Like it truly is magical. It really is a magical experience.
Magic.
And it's very happy. Like going back to the whole customer service thing, like everyone there is just happy. Everyone there is happy to serve you. They are happy to help you out. They're happy to like tell you where to go. Like if you look lost for like a minute, someone is there to be like, what are you looking for specifically? And they're not annoying about it. They're just very kind and helpful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even down to like cleaning. Like if someone spills water on the ground, they're there sweeping up the water, and it's amazing. It's such a well-oiled machine, and super magical and fun.
Yeah. 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 So today's episode sponsored by Disney World. Get your tickets just kidding.
Yeah.
Not sponsored by anyone. Cool. I love it. Yeah. Lots of good lessons. And I mean, the overall lesson is create a really good, thoughtful, quality experience for your clients. And they'll keep coming back, and they'll keep sending you their friends and their relatives, just like Disney World. Like, say what you will, but if you go there, probably you're going to have a really good time, and probably you're going to tell people about it. And that's foundational to growing a business, right? Creating that positive experience for people so that they want to send other people to you. Do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, that's it for this week. What do you have going on right now?
I recently hit 6,000 followers on Instagram. So
congratulations.
Thank you. I'm delighted for that. So if anybody's listening, please follow me on Instagram at Ryan Montes NLP. Let's get me up to 7,000. I'm working on a new product called the Hypno Business Builder, which is a course that shows people how to use hypnosis and how to start a business and how to start seeing paid clients as quickly as possible to create action and momentum super duper fast. There's no course like this. There's no product like this on the market that I'm aware of. And I'm really excited about it. So if anybody's interested in that, shoot me a message on Instagram at Ryan Montes NLP. I'll either get you on the wait list, or maybe it'll be already launched by the time you hear this. I'm not sure when you're going to hear this, but that's what I've got going on. The book is still out and doing well. The one sentence coaching course on Amazon by Ryan Montes, and this podcast, and That's probably enough for now.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you got going on?
Well, on Sunday, I have my very first HypnoFlow class. So by
Mm,
the time you hear this, it will have happened, but I'll be having another one on February 5th if you're interested.
yeah.
Um, and then I'm just taking on one-on-one clients right now for my sexual freedom hypnosis, which is called Embrace. I'll have more on my website about that soon at alannabanks.com. And then I just hit 4,000 followers on Instagram.
Wow.
So you can follow me at Alanna Banks Coaching on Instagram.
Sweet. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Cool. All right.
All right, well, that's it.
Bye.
See you next time.